Hey everyone. Kevin O'Leary seems to have stopped talking about mind medicine completely. I'm not sure why, but I can't bag him for it. So, either something reputational happened, something regulatory happened, or some kind of risk management that he's doing where he's realizing for his own, reputation long term, I don't want to be promoting this thing when it's not even going anywhere, dude. It's not even going. It's flat for 2 years while the rest of the market is experiencing crazy upswings until recently, but crazy upswings. So MindMed wasn't a good investment over the last 2 years. I think over the next 10, 15 years, it's going to prove to be a good investment, but that's just my opinion, infotainment only. Don't take advice from people online. Don't be crazy. But basically, you have a situation where he was yapping about it, and then he stopped. He completely stopped yapping about it. So what happened? I'm not sure. I don't follow him that deeply. I'm a Kevin O'Leary fan. I like him. I think that what he portrays himself as on Shark Tank is not who he really is. If you watch him outside of Shark Tank, like his YouTube channel or interviews or other places, he's a very decent, interesting man. Now, he tries lately, sometimes he tries to come off as a jerk, which is kind of weird, but that's fine. But the weirdest thing is what he's doing now. I guess he's trying to appeal to Gen Z. I don't know who he's trying to appeal to, but very peculiar stuff he's doing with the shorts and the flip-flops and the dual cameras. Go look at it on his channel. But, like, jeez, who are you trying to appeal to? And does that even appeal to Gen Z? I don't know. I wish he didn't do that stuff. That's not the way to go for Kevin. But I like him. Not bad. Not a bad guy. And I thank him. I thank him because because I wouldn't have invested in MindMed if it wasn't for him. I literally wouldn't have invested in MindMed because I wouldn't have heard of MindMed. The only way I heard it was through a YouTube video. It was basically some random YouTube video with him and I think the CEO at the time, J.R. Ron, no longer CEO now. But so basically, he was, maybe some other person was on there. They were talking about MindMed, and then about 2 years ago, then I bought it. After that, I heard of Atai, I heard of other things. I wouldn't have invested in MindMed or any other psychedelic company except for maybe Atai, because that's backed by Peter Thiel. I know of Peter Thiel. I've read his books. I've read 0 to 1, good book. Check it out, Peter Thiel. That's with a TH. But so I wouldn't have heard of these firms. I wouldn't have even heard of Atai. I didn't know of Atai at the time. I only know of Atai now because I learned of MindMed and then I did research on a broader suite of psychedelic, plays. Also, Atai is part of PSYKE, the Psych ETF, and so that, now that's on my radar. Now that the fact that there are legit psychedelic companies in the world is on my radar. Even though I was a psychedelic user and proponent and believer, I didn't think that there was actual, like, reasonable companies. It wasn't on my radar 2.5 years ago, period. And the person that brought it onto my radar was Kevin O'Leary. It simply wasn't on my radar. I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about Tesla and other companies, and I wasn't thinking that there's a big sector right now out there. I was mainly focused on my old plays and my old financial approach and some real estate plays I was getting into at the time. I just wasn't interested in psychedelic stocks. After learning of MindMed now, and having done research for 2 years and having thought about it for 2 years in terms of not the drug, not the psychedelic aspect, but the business aspect as an investor, putting on my investor hat, now I see that over the next 10, 20 years, this is a massive, like almost an unfair opportunity. But this is infotainment only, not not advice. Don't be stupid. Don't take advice from someone online. And I don't know you. I can't give you good advice. You'd be a moron to take my advice. So purely my opinion only here. But my opinion is that it'll 10x, 100x, maybe 1,000x over the next 10, 20 years. I want to be part of that. Do I want to be all in? No, because it's incredibly risky. I've talked about how risky it is in some of my previous videos, including the fact that you have the enormous possibility of regulatory risk, even though it's much smaller now than in the past. Tomorrow the government could say, no, that's it. No, we're not doing it, period. In many ways, they could say that. There's different ways that the government de facto could say, absolutely not. There's not going to be any psychedelic drugs. And then all these companies go to zero. Done. Okay? It's all white. Clean. So you don't want that, right? So you don't want to put all your money in it. So Kevin maybe also kind of realized, wait, am I not being prudent? Am I not doing right by my followers? Maybe that's it. Maybe there are other reasons, but I don't know. I don't know what those reasons are. The key thing is I can't bag him for it. I can't get upset at him for it. Okay, yeah, maybe he wasn't the most prudent in recommending it, but thank goodness, thank God he recommended it, because I wouldn't have found out about it on that day. Maybe it would have taken one more day, or maybe right now, even today, I still wouldn't have found out about these great companies. Eh, because that finding out started a sequence of learning and knowledge gaining that brings me to today, where I still have a lot of knowledge to gain. I still have a lot to learn, but I'm very confident from my own portfolio, my own risk tolerance and idiosyncratic approach that, oh, I should be somewhat in these plays. Not all in, not a huge portion, but a strong play, a strong bet towards all these companies succeeding. I think there's a strong possibility for that to happen. I want to be part of it. And if it wasn't for Kevin yapping about MindMed 2 years ago, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have this knowledge specifically. So I can't bag him for backing out of it now and not talking about it so much now.